planting fig trees and our number one trick to avoid root knot nematodes. We have 8 different fig varieties and we probably have a total of about 30 figs. Most of them are in pots, but we do have a few that are grown in ground, including this beautiful Celeste fig. When we brought home this $5 clearance plant, we did a lot of research on how to plant fig trees, and we discovered that in Florida, fig trees have a big issue with root nematodes. Now, there was one tip that we kept on seeing, and that trick is something we do every time we plant our fig trees in the ground, and it has worked. It has worked very well. And this beautiful fig tree is just thriving in the ground. It gives us so many figs every year, and we prune it and take lots of cuttings and make more fig trees. Before I show all of you what it is that we do to prevent root knot nematodes on our fig trees, I want to thank all of you for watching and ask you to please consider hitting that like button. Every time you hit the like button, subscribe, save or share one of our videos, you help us grow our YouTube channel and thereby help us get a little closer to a dream of expanding the densities of family farm. We are not experts by far when it comes to growing fig trees, but we've learned a lot over the years, and we are always researching new ways to be more efficient and effective and giving our fig trees better growing conditions. But today I'm going to show you our number one trick for how to grow fig trees in ground and avoiding any root nematode issues. Nematodes are microscopic roundworms that live in the soil and feed on the roots of plants. There are many different varieties of nematodes, including beneficial ones, but the most dangerous nematode to fig trees is the root knot nematode. If you're wondering whether your fig tree is suffering from root knot nematodes, you can take a look at the roots and see if the roots have bumps on them or knots. That is a telltale sign of root knot nematodes. You can also take a look at the tree to see if your fig tree is healthy, because the root knot nematodes will stunt the growth and might even kill your fig tree. Today I'm going to show you how we deal with root knot nematodes and how we try to prevent them from causing damage to our fig trees. And so far we have been successful. Today I'm going to plant this Chicago hardy fig in the ground. And I thought it was a perfect time to show you our number one trick for when we do put fig trees in the ground. Here it is, the number one trick. You need to get an old pot. Old plastic pot that you're willing to sacrifice. You can see this pot is breaking, but there are no significant holes in the side, and that is what I need. I need a nursery pot about this size that I can cut a hole at the bottom. The first step is to get rid of whatever plant you have in there, and I have a very root one. I don't do any spinach in here, but we're going to put it over there for now until I put it in the ground. And here is our pot. It is more or less intact. It's breaking at the top, and it's annoying because then you can't really move it. I'm going to cut around the bottom of this pot, just like this. that's it. Right here, you have a #1 trick to how to protect in-ground figs from root nematodes, especially here in Florida. Okay, let's see what I'm going to do with it. Fig trees like lots of sun, even here in Florida. We're in zone 9B, and this spot right here is extremely hot during the midday, but then the sun goes on the other side of our house and the house kind of shades it, so that hot afternoon sun, it's not full blown on here, but it does get a lot of sun, a lot of light. And we don't have a lot of sunny spots on our properties, but this is a spot I've been clearing out. Let's see if I can show you. We have a huge, really annoying bougainvillea here because it just stays green all year round, and I have been working on it all winter. It is still not down, but I've at least chopped it down so much that I have room next to it to plant. I have a planting that I want to put in the spot where the bougainvillea is, but it's not ready to go on the ground anyway. So I'm going to put the fig tree in between the grenadine bananas I should say, because it has pups too, and then where the plantain banana is going to be, just to keep these two varieties separated so that when pups come up I will know which banana variety it belongs to, because we also have more bananas on the other side of the bougainvillea, which hopefully one day it will come up, but it is a beast. It came out to both sides of the house and just filled up the entire wall. Believe it or not, this is actually a success. Anyway, you can see here that I'm digging a hole, a deep hole, where the pot can go in with a hole in it, and I finally come down to the Florida sand we have. Since this is next to our bananas, this area gets a lot of compost and chop and drop. That's how we fertilize all our plants. You can see a previous video about our 10 favorite ways to fertilize our plants naturally without any chemical fertilizers or synthetic fertilizers. But this is how our soil looks when you get down deep. So the key is really to be able to fit this pot in to the hole. I'm not sure if I'm there yet. Let's test it out. Let's see. I really don't want to see the top of the pot. See this little creature right here? They always freak me out because at first they look like snakes. Yeah? A little creepy, right? Alright, back to the fig tree. So let's see. I kind of want to put it down a little bit deeper. So I'm going to dig a little bit more just to get it deeper. Not much. It's almost there, because if you look at a banana, how high it is, it's going to be like that on the other side where I put the plantain too. We like to put our bananas up on mounds of organic matter. So I'm probably going to dig it down 1 inch more, and that's it. I am wasting its time here because once it is 10 o'clock, the spot gets so hot. But I've loosened the soil at the bottom of the hole. Let's see if I can get it down. Oh, that's good. It's a little bit above the original surface, which is fine because we're going to have all this mulch and vegetative matter around it, so you won't be able to see where the plastic pot starts. But that's how deep I'm going to dig this, and now I'm just going to put the Chicago Hearted Fig in there. Alright, let's see if you guys can see it. Of course I have my tag. I'll put up a video how to make these. They are invaluable permanent plant tags. So it's not that long ago that I planted this fig into this pot. It was a $4 clearance plant, I believe. We rescued. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, I feel the heat coming on. I want to get in the middle of the pot so the roots can spread out. There we go. Drop it out here. Whew. Yes, that is plant life. Let's see. I'm gonna find some more soil to put in there. I'll be right back. I got half a pot full of soil from the chicken run. It is our best fertilizer. And I'm just gonna fill this pot up with it. It is the best kind of soil you can get. And then I'm just going to take the shovel and make the soil back around the pot. And yes, you can kind of see the top right now, but that's fine. You won't see it for that long because soon I'm going to start putting some chop and drop on top of it. And then you can't see the pot anymore. I have one more thing I want to do before I water this Chicago Hearty fig, and that is cutting it, because this was how it came, bare root, but I wanted to branch out more, so I'm going to try to cut it right here, and hopefully it'll give us more branches around this tiny trunk. And of course I'm going to use this tub to make more Chicago Hearty figs. And if you want to see how I do that, look for the video how to root fig cuttings in water. It is by far the easiest, most successful method that we have found to make more fig trees from cuttings. So planting your new fig tree successfully is to water it in very, very well. Now if you can plant it in the evening, that helps, or early morning. You see now the sun is already on there and the tomato plants are planted behind. I'm looking very sad. I should have planted them out in the evening. If they die on me, I'll just plant some more because I have way too many tomato plants. I also put down the longevity spinach in the back where we'll get more shade. I put down a papaya, some cranberry hibiscus, and a couple of salad trees. So this bed is gonna be full of edible plants. And because it's right next to the banana trees, I know it'll not be forgotten. I've added a layer of wood chip mulch, and now you can barely see the rim of the nursery pot. One more layer of wood chips or compost, and you won't be able to see anything at all. We grow many figs in pots, partly because of the nematode issue, but mostly because we have not found a perfect home for our fig trees. So it is just easier to transplant a fruit tree if it is in a pot. It will cause less damage, but eventually the fig trees get so big that unless we keep on sizing up in pots, we have to put them in the ground. We are in a drought here in our area of Florida, and there might come rain in about 7 days, but many times when it rains in our area, it rains around us and we don't get any rain right where we are. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. The plants and trees growing in the ground do not need as much water as the plants grown in pots. And by eliminating a lot of these pots, I will thereby have to water less. So today I put more than 50 plants in the ground. This white fig is just one of the many plants that we put in the ground today, but let me show another one. This little black mission fig was growing in this little pot, and I needed to either put in a bigger pot or put it in the ground. So with the method that I showed you earlier, I cut a hole in the pot, in a bigger pot, put it in that pot, and now this fig tree. Oh, I just messed it up. I gotta fix that. Let me fix that. Hold on for a second. There you go. Let's fix it a little bit better. See, I lost a bunch of the material here. There we go. So I put in a bigger pot, but I cut the bottom out of the pot. And as we get more wood chips, I will fill up around the pot. Eventually it'll become level with this fig tree up here and these fruit trees up here that are raised up. So that we do get a hurricane and everything floods, these fruit trees do not flood, and hopefully this little fig section will not flood either. I am no biologist, but from my understanding, the root knot nematodes like to live in the top 6 to 8 inches of the soil, which is less than this pot. The 8 inches go below the line of the pot, and that is why we dig down these pots with our figs. So hopefully the root will go below the pot, and the pot will keep out the root knot nematodes. Root knot nematodes like southern climates, and they like living in sandy soils, which is what we have here in our part of Florida. But that's why we try to amend our soils with lots of organic matter, wood chips, greens, chicken manure, anything we can find. We cannot amend our soil enough, but it seems that we're doing something right, because our figs in the pots, our figs in the ground, they are all thriving. Here you can see some of the ones we have. We have more over here. Again, we've raised it up 1/2 foot to 1 foot off the ground, and that's because when we have the hurricanes come in, everything just floods. Another thing that we do to prevent root knot nematodes is plant French marigolds in our fig pots and in the ground around the fig trees that we put in the ground. And so far we've not had any root knot nematode damage, even though we're in Florida where it is a major problem. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're interested in growing figs or making more figs out of the figs you already have, don't forget to check out our video, how to root figs in water. I will put a link to it right there so that you can easily find it, but you can also find it under our Making More Plants playlist. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making the world a little greener.